Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. Built over 4,500 years ago, the Great Pyramid is the largest and most famous of the Egyptian pyramids. It was constructed as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu and is made of limestone and granite blocks. Pharaoh Khufu ruled during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. The pyramid is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the only wonder that remained largely intact. The Great Pyramid was built by quarrying an estimated 2.3 million large blocks, weighing 6 million tons in total. One common misconception is that the pyramids were built by slaves. However, archaeological evidence shows that the pyramids were actually constructed by well-fed and skilled laborers. Hanging Gardens of Babylon, Iraq. According to ancient texts, the Hanging Gardens were a series of tiered gardens built in the ancient city of Babylon, near present-day Baghdad. They were described as a remarkable feat of engineering with an ascending series of tiered gardens containing a wide variety of trees, shrubs, and vines, resembling a large green mountain constructed of mud bricks. According to one legend, the Hanging Gardens were built alongside a grand palace known as the Marvel of Mankind by the Neo-Babylonian King Nebuchadnezzar II for his Median wife, Queen Amytis, because she missed the green hills and valleys of her homeland. The Hanging Gardens are the only one of the 7 wonders for which the location has not been definitively established. There are no extant Babylonian texts that mention the gardens, and no definitive archaeological evidence has been found in Babylon. Statue of Zeus at Olympia. Created by the renowned Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BC, the statue of Zeus was a colossal representation of the king of the Greek gods, Zeus. Zeus is the sky and thunder god in ancient Greek religion, who rules as king of the gods of Mount Olympus. The statue was a chryselephantine sculpture of ivory plates and gold panels on a wooden framework. Zeus sat on a painted cedarwood throne ornamented with ebony, ivory, gold, and precious stones. It was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The statue of Zeus was commissioned by the Eleans, custodians of the Olympic Games, in the latter half of the 5th century BC for their newly constructed Temple of Zeus. Seeking to outdo their Athenian rivals, the Eleans employed sculptor Phidias, who had previously made the massive statue of Athena Parthenos in the Parthenon. Basically, all they wanted was to beat their rivals with the statue. Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, dedicated to the Greek goddess Artemis. The Temple of Artemis was a grand structure located in the ancient city of Ephesus in present-day Turkey. The earliest version of the temple was destroyed in the 7th century BC, and it was destroyed by a flood. Its reconstruction, in more grandiose form, began around 550 BC and was funded by Croesus of Lydia and took 10 years to complete. This version of the temple was destroyed in 356 BC by an arsonist. Pretty sad. The next greatest and last form of the temple, funded by the Ephesians themselves, was located in Ephesus, present-day Turkey, and only foundations and fragments of this version remain at the site. It's actually pretty cool to think that a thing started in the Bronze Age, and its last version still has some bits and remains in our era. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Built in the 4th century BC in the city of Halicarnassus, present-day Bodrum, Turkey, the mausoleum was a grand tomb constructed for Mausolus, the satrap of the Persian Empire. The structure was designed by the Greek architects Satyros and Pythias of Priene. Its elevated tomb structure is derived from the tombs of neighboring Lycia, a territory Mausolus had invaded and annexed, such as the Nereid Monument. The mausoleum was approximately 45 meters in height, and the 4 sides were adorned with sculptural reliefs, each created by one of 4 Greek sculptors: Leocharis, Bryaxis, Scopas of Paros, and Timotheus. The mausoleum contained total 400 freestanding sculptures, so it was pretty much huge. The mausoleum was considered to be such an aesthetic triumph that Antipater of Sidon identified it as one of his 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was destroyed by successive earthquakes from the 12th to the 15th century. It was the last surviving of the 6 destroyed wonders. Colossus of Rhodes. Erected around 280 BC on the Greek island of Rhodes, the Colossus was a massive bronze statue standing over 30 meters tall. It depicted the sun god Helios and served as a symbol of Rhodes' victory over an invading army. It was constructed to celebrate the successful defense of Rhodes city against an attack by Demetrius I of Macedon, who had besieged it for a year with a large army and navy. According to most contemporary descriptions, the Colossus stood approximately 70 cubits or 33 meters high, approximately the height of the modern Statue of Liberty from feet to crown, making it the tallest statue in the ancient world. It collapsed during the earthquake of 226 BC, although parts of it were preserved. In accordance with the Oracle of Delphi, the Rhodians did not rebuild it. According to the Suda, the Rhodians were called Colossians because they erected the statue on the island. In 653, an Arab force under Muslim general Muawiyah conquered Rhodes, and according to the Chronicle of Theophanes the Confessor, the statue was completely destroyed and the remains sold. Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Pharos of Alexandria, this ancient lighthouse was located on the island of Pharos in Alexandria, Egypt. Built around 280 BC, it stood over 100 meters tall and was one of the tallest man-made structures of the ancient world. It has been estimated to have been at least 100 meters. It became one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The lighthouse was severely damaged by 3 earthquakes between 956 and 1323 AD and became an abandoned ruin. It was the 3rd longest surviving ancient wonder, after the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus and the extant Great Pyramid of Giza, surviving in part until 1480, when the last of its remnant stones were used to build the citadel of Qaitbay on the site. In 1994, a team of French archaeologists dove into the water of Alexandria's eastern harbor and discovered some remains of the lighthouse on the seafloor. In 2016, the Ministry of State of Antiquities in Egypt had plans to turn submerged ruins of ancient Alexandria, including those of the pharaohs, into an underwater museum. I will be making similar videos. Subscribe to see them.